Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. This man not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don't come, oh yo yo. Aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, then we call themselves politicians. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Good evening to you. Good afternoon to you. Good morning to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary politico. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun diary. Ẹ fara balẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé.
Jaza Mani Baba. Long life to Baba. Say Baba. Say Baba. Say Baba. Ale ba lafia. Ale ba lafia Baba.
Mr. President.
Say Baba.
I wish you Johnny Mercy.
His Excellency.
Long life and good health.
Mr. President, thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming to Dubai.
May Allah support you to deliver.
Thank you for coming to Dubai.
Excellency, you're welcome.
We look forward to a better Nigeria, our president.
Long live Nigeria.
Long live Nigeria, better Nigeria. We look forward to a better Nigeria. No problem. He's not feeling well, for real. He's not well.
This is life and direct.
Is that ever feeling well before? And yes, we like you.
Thank you for joining me. Share the broadcast.
And yes, we like you. Oh, Baba,
Thank you. Thank you.
DJ, imagine there. And yes, we like you. Presido Barufio. And yes, we like you.
While we wait for others to join us live on Mayegun's Diary Political tonight, share the broadcast. Thank you. Now, if you have been reading the news, you possibly have been, especially if you have been following this latest Omicron variant of coronavirus, and putting the names of African countries in a list called Red List, simply because South African scientists discovered the variants during their lab tests on different series of variants of coronavirus, and they came public to say, yeah, we found this new variant, and this is what, and that, and suddenly, the world is about to make coronavirus African virus, and this is not even a joke. Okay, there are already papers in Europe that are already, projecting this virus as Africa virus, and people are raging. People are angry. How could they disrespect us so much? Is this how much they hate us? Is this how much they dislike Africa? Is this what they wanted of us? Because look at this. A particular paper in I think somewhere in Europe now shared this. They published this Omicron, where Africans are transporting, those Africans who are either traveling through the desert to find their ways into Europe, Africans who are crossing the dangerous channels to cross their ways to Europe, claiming to be running away from poverty, running away from crisis, terrorism, and the rest of that. Now, because of this Omicron, they don't change up. It's almost like an African problem. People, they rage. I'll speak my own from another perspective tonight, right? Here is another one. I think this one, which one is this one? Auschwitz, German, well, this ones, they actually gone further to pick a picture that is not, in fact, relative to anything coronavirus. They put a picture as Africa with this virus. Now, people are angry. People are angry. Like South Africa, well, coronavirus started from Wuhan in China. And many of those who are now the King Kong that are now banning Africans because of Omicron, many of them, they were so scared to even face China. And people attributed that to the economic capacity or the economic, strength of China. That if you look at their, their economic strength abroad, you will think twice before you put Chinese on your ban list. Even countries who tried that back then, it was after many people have now come to say, well, this thing is actually transferring everywhere, so therefore we should shut our border. But look at the reaction to this of South African declared variants called Omicron. And the reaction. So people are now saying, oh boy, if to say COVID-19, started from Africa, by now, maybe they would have cut off the continent completely from the rest of the world. Or maybe not. But when you look at their reactions today, in kind of consonant with their relationship with those who brought us to this level, the African corrupt leaders, then probably it won't be too down on you when they can easily put your name, the name of your country, in the list of those that should never cross the border. So maybe you won't even be so upset with the West, as they will say it. They hate us. They are racist. Victimhood. Pretend to be victims. Even your government will say, how dare you? How can you just ban us like that? Not as if they have anything to do to prevent such happening again in the future. No. Layamo was very angry that UK, of all places, that UK banned Nigerians from coming to the UK. Not for now. They have even stopped taking application for visa for those who are coming to visit. It's like a total shutdown. Layamo, the people that collected over $1 billion in donation. What am I even talking about? These guys collected over $5 billion as donations for them to improve their own healthcare facilities. Because Oyinbo said coronavirus will kill millions in Africa because Africans, we don't have a good healthcare system. How did they know? Because they know. But with their surprise, all the money, even in the expense, at the expense of a possibility of the pandemic killing Africans a lot, the African leaders, they went cap in hand. After ruining their countries, stole everything they could steal, and took them abroad. They went cap in hand to the same Western countries. Give us help Africa, help us, help us. They gave them the money. No improvement in anything else here. I'm not going to generalize because there have been improvements in some other African countries. It's just that Nigeria is a different basket case entirely. African leaders collected this money, billions and billions of dollars, donation. But miraculously, coronavirus didn't wreak havoc in Africa as they expected. So, that vindicated the African leaders, not because they invested the money in their infrastructure. No. They continue to mismanage. They continue to mismanage. Every little money they see, they loot. They take the money abroad. Cameroon president lives in France. Nigeria president's doctor lives in UK. There are many African country presidents that don't even live in their countries. But when coronavirus came, they all thought, oh yeah, it's going to affect Africa. Africa is poor. When it's free money, they present Africa as poor. So they collected the money. Millions of people they projected to
be killed by coronavirus in Africa, they didn't die because people felt like we have seen wars. Coronavirus, even coronavirus will meet other virus in us. And by the time they jam, coronavirus will blend. You were not going to pick bodies on the street of Africa. And that didn't happen miraculously. Now, the people who got affected, who died in hundreds of thousands in the UK, tens of thousands of people died. In America, hundreds of thousands of people died. In Europe, in Italy, hundreds of thousands of people died. But guess what? Until these killings started choking, none of them was bold enough to face China. And to this day, people still believe that China got away with it, that China could have alerted the world like South Africans did, and they could have saved millions of lives. But guess who is being punished now for the same coronavirus? Africans. Who's going to stand up for us? Nobody. We will scream, oh, you hate us. You are racist. They hate Africa from generation to generation. I'm like, who hates Africa more than Africans? Your leaders are Africans. They are Africans. They mismanaged a country so terribly bad, the continent so terribly badly, that they have made us indebtors. I mean, they've made us debtors to the same people they told us hate us so much. When coronavirus came, the same people that hated Africa so much, they gave money to the same who love Africa so much. The African leaders. Mayegun, we know we don't have leaders, but that doesn't mean that this. What do you mean? When the rest of the world were protecting their citizens, when coronavirus broke out, African leaders were working day and night on now to monetize it. And they did monetize it. In Nigeria, they monetized coronavirus. When the whole world was working to save their people. Now, this time around, when the whole world heard about the variant from Africa, they reacted as they should. Would that even make those who brought us to this level possibly to have a rethink? Possibly not. But the people that hate us are the people that those who love us, those who lead us, go to drag us into perpetual enslavement, indebtedness that has further crippled Africa, crippled your currencies, created the unemployment. And in wherever you have unemployment, trust me, that is where you have crime. There is no two way to it. When people have no job, right? When they have no means of taking care of themselves, they will resort to whatever means that they will survive. And crime is what most actually resort to. Those criminal leaders, one of them, Layamo, just came out to repeat the same thing. For putting Nigeria in the list, which is the same complaint, right? In the next few days or few weeks, they will remove Nigeria name and it will be business as usual. And guess what? They will still never do anything. They will at least give some level of credibility to you as an African, where the West will never trample upon you. But take a look at it this way. A continent led by rogues and criminals who care more about themselves than the same continent that they think we can all continue to use to blackmail the same West. No matter what their interest is or their interests are in Africa, nobody will come into your house and steal from you. Conveniently sit and enjoy that without your consent too. Yes. African leaders, especially Nigeria, you see, Nigeria should have been like the big brother in Africa. It is not because Nigeria is the biggest country in Africa. Nigeria is not. Nigeria is not even one of the top 10 biggest country in Africa by land, but by population, Nigeria is the biggest country in Africa. But instead of Nigeria to be the big brother of Africa, somewhere that the rest of Africa look up to, like this South America, North Americans, and almost the rest of the world look up to America, the United States of America. That is what Nigeria should have been for the rest of Africa. But Nigeria is not that big brother. Nigeria is a liability to the rest of Africa, okay? When other African countries are being misruled by dictators, killers, murderers, ethnic jingoists, and the rest, they always find comfort one way or the other in countries like Nigeria. I don't think I should be taking too much of that history, but you can relate with what I'm talking about. Where criminals are mismanaging their countries, ruining and wreaking havoc in their countries, Nigeria, whatever is being, it's being done in any other African country, they know that whatever they are doing, Nigeria and their rulers are doing possibly times 10 of that. So who would then checkmate them? So then they all built a continent that became a beggarly continent, so mismanaged that nobody can hide it. Africans have to go and give education, especially Nigerians. They have to get the best education for their children outside Nigeria. They have to get access to the best medical facility or medical care outside Nigeria. They have to take the stolen wealth of Nigeria to go and buy and invest in other economy in outside Nigeria. But when they get to the table to negotiate for Nigeria and the millions of people they lead, what do? They put themselves first as well. And that is why it is convenient for African leaders to easily accept stipends called loans from the same people they want you and me to see as imperialists. The people who want to enslave us again and again. Meanwhile, we are being enslaved by the same people who speak the same language like us, who actually look like us, who appear to do same thing like us. And we call them our brothers and sisters. Some of you call them your leaders. So when the time comes for them to discuss anything Africa or their countries, you found them there, carpenters, beggarly, ready to trade their countries for any amount of money, including if they have to go back and devalue their currencies. They know when you devalue your currency, you devalue your people, you devalue your trade, you devalue their profit, you devalue your progress. And when you do that on a large scale, it keeps more people poorer. It doesn't take them out of poverty. They dangle the carrot before them, they grab them, and when their failure, the consequences of all their decisions comes calling, like this one, right? They want you and me to continue to play the victim card. Africans, the Western world, they don't love Africa. They hate us so much. But when you look at those who actually see Africa as the leaders of Africa want the world to see Africa as a beggarly continent where people, they are so poor, no matter what they are, they can never be the best of anything. That is the continent your leaders are selling to the whole world. But the moment that comes back calling, they want me and you to play victim. Right? Play victim. Why they do the same thing again and again? There is no other people who missell Africa than African elites and African politicians, African government, and the rest of them. When you look at the way the whole thing is set up entirely, yeah, from Cameroon to Nigeria, from Nigeria to Benin Republic, to Ghana, to Togo, from there to Burkina Faso, cross it over down to Kenya, Kenya to Guinea, to Zambia, to Gambia, to South Africa, continue all those places and tell me the leadership that they have there that is not contributing to what will make the rest of the world to continue to see us as liabilities, a beggarly nation, a beggarly continent. Nobody sold us worse than the politicians. The world is so flat today, okay? They call it is global now, global village. It's called the world a village, where everything that happens everywhere is constantly popping up in a sec, in minutes, all over the globe, because that is what the world is right now. No one can play victimhood, especially if you continue to agree that leadership is the problem of Africa, but that does not give the right to the rest of the world to discriminate against us, to treat us this way, which you are right. It doesn't give them that right. But at the same time, yeah, it doesn't take it away from them either. Because what? We'll continue to be, to play victims, to continue to blame them. The UK are those who underdeveloped Africa. The French, they are those who underdeveloped Africa. But when you look around, you see your leaders capping hands to China, capping hands to what? To the World Bank, capping hands to France. And then you ask yourselves, if you disagree with them, how come it has become so impossible to get rid of them? So that maybe if Africa genuinely have people who actually love Africa, who believe in Africa genuinely, then representing Africa out there, maybe the world can begin to see us differently. Until the 80s, the Chinese were considered as one of the poorest continents in the world. No joke. The Chinese were seen as poor and poorer, but today they turned that around and that began manifesting from the 80s, and to this day, China is now considered as world power. They did not cry and blame the rest of the world. I don't know how they did it, though. I bet you and I can study that because it's out there for everybody to study. Nobody needs to recreate anything that is never out there before. There are examples out there. If you don't like what they call you, if you don't like what they do to you, what do? You change it. How? Check those who have changed theirs. Number one, you don't condone criminals and say our problem is the problem we have are the leadership problems. Great. What are you doing about it? How many of you are even backing those leaders in your own biased ways, just like we have in Nigeria? These guys came in, right? Let me give you an example. In Nigeria, right? These guys came in 2015. Before then, Nigeria was considered relatively peaceful, right? And Nigeria was number 2 foreign investment destination in Africa. That was that's after South Africa. But guess what? Between 2014 and 2021, Nigeria does not belong to the first 10 anymore. Do you know that if somebody tells you to dispute data like this, or you try to say something about this, they want you to be patriotic and lie that there are other African countries who are not doing well, that Nigeria is still doing better, like blah, 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 blah. But forgetting the fact that when Nigeria was number 2 destination in Africa, what that simply means was that people who had the intention of bringing their own money into Nigeria, not borrowing you money or not lending you money, okay? But bringing their own money into Nigeria. And when they did, right, what they do was that they will invest in Nigeria, create jobs. Do you understand that now? Now, we can question the kind of jobs they created or they were creating or what have you, right? But when you are number 2 in Africa, it means that when they calculated those who take money to Africa for investment, Nigeria was number 2. And that simply means jobs. So today, between that 2015 and 2021, you now have almost 40% of Nigerians who are now unemployed, jobless, right? 40%. So if population of Nigeria is 200 million, yeah? Half of 200 million, well, 40% will be somewhere around there, 70 million or 80 million people who have no jobs. Now, if you have that number and you put them in a proper category, and you see those who are married, who have family, who had jobs then, those who are graduate, who have no much dependents but themselves, then you realize that that figure will then give you the exact image that the world saw and they called Nigeria the poverty capital of the world. Because if you have 80 million people who have no jobs, no job, in the population of 200 million people, that is catastrophic. That is a population that is bigger than the population of the UK. That is catastrophic, not just to Nigeria, but to the rest of the world. But can you remember what led to the number 2 destination to number 0 destination between 2014 and 2021? Can you not tell? Boko Haram terrorism. No Boko Haram terrorists have been arrested, prosecuted, or convicted of the crimes that has disrupted economic activities in more than 1/3 part of northern Nigeria and put the rest of southern Nigeria in total disarray and uncertainty, insecurity. Then what about policy somersault? That they said easy way to do business, and this has led to more than 70%, companies that were given immediate and massive employment to Nigerians, moving their headquarters, operational headquarters out of Nigeria because of these policy somersaults. Within 6 years and 7 years, from 13.5 million unemployed Nigerians, that jumped to over 80 million. And now you can tell what that data simply means. When Nigeria is no longer number 2 destination, people don't take their money there anymore. So your government decided to go borrowing. Now the rest of the country is now going sorrowing. After the World Bank, the next highest the country that Nigeria hold money to is China. So they gave money to curb and combat the pandemic. Then they changed the pandemic in Nigeria to lidemic, where Layamo is now the spokesperson to carry the rest of us and say, UK, is it because you hate us? Let me ask you this. If you have to check, who are those who mostly have to travel down to the UK for school, for medical, for visits, for tourism, for business, for anything they are coming there to do? Are those people the common man on the street of Nigeria who has no business with the UK? Yeah? But do you see the alarm bell? Because the majority of those that will get trapped by such order, are no other than the politicians who failed to build good education system in the same Africa, good education system that is sustainable in Nigeria, better healthcare system in Nigeria, good social system, social system that actually takes care of the vulnerable in Nigeria. The same people who failed to keep Nigeria safe because they found safe havens in the West. So if they ban them, Buhari will have issue coming here to come and recharge his battery. The rest of them will have issue living the life of the African prince that they live abroad, right? How does that concerns you more than the criminals who will use hate, who will use, they hate us. They every other vices they will tell you. They are the losers. And they need you and your own emotional attachments to see it differently. Their children will need to come back to school. Well, I think they should be going back home now. Abi, everybody should be vacating, holidays coming, right? Wherever that is. Many of them have booked this December for coming down here for their medical treatment. Some of them are already in London to see Oshoba and the rest of them taking medical treatment here. President of Cameroon, he lives in France. Abi, where your president live, Cameroonians. And just like in Nigeria, the Cameroonian soldiers, they have been killing the Southerners who are called the Ambazonians, who said they want their own country, like the Biafrans in Nigeria. But the presidents of the two countries, Nigeria and Cameroon, they are not different. Well, that of Cameroon live permanently in France. And no matter what, it continued to win election back in Cameroon. Cameroons are angry that the Western world are banning them because of coronavirus. You should not be angry, but you should indeed express your anger, displeasure as you have done, because they want to make coronavirus African virus now. Now China from China the thing starts, but now Africans are going to pay for it. Somebody told me, said Mayegu. Oh, somebody said it's Switzerland. Okay, now Switzerland, I shall not say president of Cameroon does not live in Cameroon. Just like a president of Nigeria is also a tourist president that always visits Nigeria. Buhari just visits Nigeria. When he visits Nigeria and for few days or whatever you is somewhere else or back home here in the UK. There are many other African countries like that. Their presidents, Equatorial Guinea. Who is that president of Equatorial Guinea? Something like that. You know, there are many. There are many like that. Thank you very much for that. So what you should reject is that tone of them trying to make coronavirus African virus. It is not an African virus. It's never emanated from anywhere in Africa. Africans shouldn't be punished. And it is the way the Western world actually took it, right? South Africa came out. They said, oh, we found this variant. Therefore, alerted the World Health Organizations. Then they didn't put any procedure together to say, oh, if you are traveling, you will need to quarantine for 14 days, just like everyone else they did with coronavirus, COVID-19. So, yes, we all have the right to make sure that that narrative never stick, because everywhere you are, right, there are so many powerful local medias, local media everywhere, yeah, who are beginning. Yes, they are racist, terrible people who have tools to disseminate information to thousands and thousands of people, which put many of us who are also in these different countries in a kind of precarious situations as well. So the putting the name of Africans in that list, yeah, you can go out there and let them know, no. This is not an African virus. Imagine something like this. Of course, you can imagine their readers. Let me see if I can get the caption up. One country somewhere. Please, if you understand the language, you can help me. But I bet it's Spanish. Yeah? Whatever it is. It's like Africans who are coming to Europe. Do you see the flag? So there are people who write to share these narratives. Okay? And then, yeah, it's great if people reject that. Okay? There is, what do you call it? Those who brought us here, that we must indeed, because like I said, there are those who demarket Africa, but they want me and you, okay, to defend them and defend Africa. You get what I mean now? So they can't have that, they can't have it both. And the moment you know that they can't have it both, the kind of the better for everyone, right? Buhari, who pardoned terrorists in Nigeria. The terrorists are now angry because just like they promised all of you during their change mantra and the campaign of fraud called Next Devil, which has seen millions of people now living in poverty, right? They have also failed the terrorists that they said they are pardoning, and they said the repentant Boko Haram, who are now facing uncertain future, after Boko Haram promised and failed them, they have decided to go back to war fronts to go and fight, because Nigeria is just an error, a total mistake, which says the war on terror is not in any way near end, right? So they said the terrorists broke into fights, and in fact, they regretted coming out to say they repented, because it seems that what they have turned them into is just to use them to make money. That is not different from those of you who continue to say Sai Baba, for whatever they promised, for whatever you think you understood about all their lies. Yeah, the end result is the same. The terrorists will go out there. They are back in business. Those soldiers who lost their lives in arresting them, expecting that they would be prosecuted, only for government to pardon them. And government promised them that we'll give you money, we'll give you this. Nigeria is broke. There's no money to give them, right? Now, they are back in the jungle, kidnapping people, collecting ransom. Nigeria is powerless according to the government of Nigeria. So they continue the destruction of the economy, destruction of the people, destruction of lives and properties, which will continue, right? Will not suddenly change Nigeria for anything other than the worse, which is the destination that Boko Haram is taking you. Now, some of you know this. Some of you are just waiting it out. Let's just wait it out. Maybe after the Boko Haram's time, another person will come in and change it. I will be waiting to see that happen, especially now that the war on terror is now business in Nigeria. War on terror, which is now business, has even made those who told us the failure of Boko Haram, the collaboration of Boko Haram with the killer terrorists in Nigeria, all of a sudden to turn around to say, well, there is no point in declaring the terrorist because they are faceless. On the other hand, another Kogi lawyer or so who said something about Sheikh bin Gumi, right? He's been invited now by the DSS, right? So, which means it is now a big enterprise that the only commodity available for trade is Nigerians. Yeah. You. Terrorism is now more or less state sponsored big projects. Who are the commodities? You. So UK, US, Canada are not going to be they should not even be your worries. Your worries should be, especially for those after bringing you to this state of total extinction, they are not tired. They are not giving up. They continue. They say, if you find yourself inside the koto, the best thing you should do is to stop digging so that you don't find yourself inside the bigger hole or deeper hole. These criminals who have created poverty, who have escalated the debts or the indebtedness of the country, expanded the map of poverty, right? They are not giving up with their greed. One of the things I discovered is this. I have told you that the same people who removed fuel subsidy in 2016, 2017, and changed your pump price per liter from 87 naira to 147 or 145 naira per liter to what it is today, 165 naira per liter. The same criminals, yeah, who promised that the reason why they removed the subsidy then was to invest their money, your money, in revamping your refineries. The same criminals, after borrowing billions of dollars for 6 years, made you pay billions of naira for trillions of naira for 6 years, expecting that one day it is going to come down. The same criminals have come back in 2021 to tell you that this is the right time to actually remove the subsidy. Now, people are asking that if you do this, you are going to push more people into poverty. And you know, the more people fall into poverty, the more the crime rate will increase. This is not a rocket science. If people continue to get pushed into poverty and lack, they will result into different kind of crimes, some of them that will actually involve having to kill people, right? But they said no. They're going to give 40 million of you for 5,000 naira, another lie. Now, whether you agree or not, they will remove it again next year. You will begin to buy the fuel for 320 or above per liter. Now, it is not because they would then save whatever they said they were removing, because they don't even have anything to remove. It is just because whatever they can steal and take from you. Now, when you are back to square zero, more people will fall into poverty again. Many people who are watching me right now, who are still doing their best to keep living, to keep surviving, they are going to find it even more difficult when you come to that next year. But these guys are not giving up. Okay? What brought you up? What brought you to this level is not just it's combination of all. What brought you to this level? Level is complete mismanagement, corruption, impunity, incompetence, and criminally minded people being in charge of critical decision making that are not being made correctly. Yeah, they borrowed money, but they squandered the money, and they went borrowing again. They squandered it. They went borrowing. When they were tired of when they couldn't get anything to borrow, they started printing money. Then they started borrowing again, right? Not investing in the infrastructures that could turn around and create at least jobs that will cut down people's docility. So they are not. So I picked something up, apart from this issue of 2022 removal of subsidy. That's not just the whole thing, though. Now I picked something up. The same people who have no money. Listen to me. In Nigeria today, what Boko Haram and gang have done, yeah? If Nigeria make 100 naira, if Nigeria make 100 naira from anything, right? Nigeria will have to spend 99 naira from that money to service the debt of Nigeria. You may not know this or the effect of this. The debt of Nigeria is attached to that of your naira. According to them, you have nothing to back up your debt. Therefore, there is no point in having any stronger currency when you have nothing to back it up. For 7 years, these criminals took Nigeria from number 2 to nowhere at all in the foreign direct investment, foreign investment destination in Africa. They have nothing to back the naira. They have nothing to back anything. Rather, it is just on a free fall. Give us the money. And they have the National Assembly that will what? That will approve anything. just anything. They just approve another 20 billion for him, for them to borrow in 2022. Now, they are going to go borrowing further in 2022, which means they have to crash your naira even further. Well, ask me, what are they going to use the money for? Somebody said they needed to monitor electoral activities of the political parties in Nigeria. So INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, I've been waiting to call them INEC. INEC said to conduct the 2023 election, they need 500 billion to monitor the primaries of all the of the political parties. Okay. And people said, where would you get the 500 billion from? How much are you going to use to conduct the another failed rigged election in 2023? 500 billion. Somebody said, but you only need about 40 billion, even if you actually want to monitor the primaries of political parties, congresses of political parties towards 2023, right? If you decide to send two core members to represent, to witness the primaries of all the parties as INEC, to represent INEC, you have about 8,000, over 8,000 political wards in Nigeria. So if you put 2 on each ward and you pay them 30,000 naira, the whole thing came to somewhere around 41 billion. How you want to spend 500 billion to your loan? Where you could see the 500 billion? But they will borrow. They will have to go and borrow the money for people to steal, right? Here's another one. We're just reading about that too. They said they gave each federal medical center. This one is not even like Genjeo. They gave them the money. They are now probing it. But you know what? Forget it. They are not going to get anything back. They gave them 950 million each federal medical center. Do you have any federal medical center in your area? If you know any, each one collected 950 million naira, including in Eastern Nigeria. Now, one inspector like that visited, and they were like, this place, man, it is a looting spree, a rigged system. So they steal everything. And when they take everything, and the people who give them the money, agents buying properties in Dubai. Somebody was saying that Dubai saw oil after Nigeria. Dubai that saw oil after Nigeria. What did Nigeria use our own oil money for? There's some people who are like, well, the people of Dubai, the princes of Dubai, they might have used their money genuinely well. But Nigeria money is part of the money they use to build Dubai as well. I'm not joking. Dubai is the second home to Nigerian looters. Dubai is the second home to Nigerian entertainers, Nigerian elites, including Nigerian fraudsters. That's like second home. They buy expensive properties. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to just say it once. I am not going to be surprised if there is no single governor, senator, their wives, who have one property or the other in Dubai today. Like, it is their destination. When they loot from Nigeria, they go to Dubai. Somehow, Dubai welcomes the money. Osh Poppy was a king or prince in Dubai. Well, they got him in Dubai as well. All these guys live there. Atiku Abubakar lives in Dubai. The first lady of the first lady of Nigeria, who now doubled as the first lady of Dubai and Nigeria ambassador to Dubai, lives in Dubai. So they use Nigeria money there, you know. That's like every other money they brought from everywhere, but Nigeria money is part of that. Buratai the butcher, the former chief of army staff in Nigeria, yeah, he bought 2 properties for his wives in Dubai. He didn't deny it. When they asked him, where did you see the money to buy these properties? You, military soldier, where do you see this money to do that in Dubai? He said he made this money from snake venom. He was selling snake venom. Orueju. Ha! His money is in Dubai. Many of those buildings you will see in Dubai, many of them too, they are owned by Nigerians, but you will be seeing Abdul Farouk, Prince Abdul Farouk, Sadiq Abdullahi, the Prince of Chema, the Prince of Juba, the Prince of the Crown Prince of Story. Then be party to those who bring the money to Dubai. And if you take it to Dubai, anything will go Dubai, stay in Dubai. That's why it is. What did Nigeria use their own oil money for? What? Absolute looted. They looted that. So if anybody is talking about the market in Nigeria, the whole world is not stupid. The only reason why the world will continue to treat us the way they treat us is because some of us think we can play victim to continue to get sympathy, like people who can't help themselves. The rest of the world look at us, brag about what we can do, but we never did them. The whole world see through our brilliance. They see through our bravery and courage, but they never see them materialize. Out there, you have people who are like, they're not going to come and do it for you. They won't do it for us. The best brains in Africa are being pushed to the West. They are being westernized simply because of what Africa and African leaders denied them. Things that could have contributed greatly to who we are, that could have contributed greatly to our own, our greatness as a people. When you look into all of this Western world and you look into their laboratories, you will find Africans there, African scientists from somewhere in Africa who got given the opportunity to actually be what he wants to be. And who do you think is going to serve? Dictators in Africa who would never respect the medical field, or the medical people who work in the medical field? Those who will never respect or treat them with dignity and honor that they deserve for saving lives. Is that how you judge patriotism? People will even go back to criticize these dictators. Some of them are what? They are hunted down. When you look at all these Western laboratories, you see Africans there. When you look at all this great engineering, construction, construction conglomerate all over the world, you will see Africans there. They are their designers. But back in Africa, they are hunted down. You know it, I know it. But most of you actually support them because you prefer your dictator differently, kind of. In Nigeria, the people in Nigeria, they prefer their own, their own criminal leaders. They respect, they love them differently. They kind of, the best brains in Africa, they ended up elsewhere in the world. Have you asked yourself, how come the best brains in China, the best brains from Asia, how come they didn't end up in the laboratory of Africa? How come they didn't end up in the construction, what do you call it? Discoveries of Africa. How? Just look into how you are being governed and being ruled. And then you will blame the West, you blame them less. They call it brain drain. You can't remove African leaders by elections. Of course you can't. They will tell you, oh yeah, we do democracy. How many of them actually does democracy in Africa for real? What happened to their oppositions? Those who actually go out there to oppose them, to fight them, that they want the same thing they want. How do they treat them? How do they treat those who are voting for them? How are they treating them? Which is what we have in Nigeria too. Talking about injustice. Injustice and the way you are treated can actually be linked to where we are coming from and what we're taking as if the whole world owes us something. Being victims, we are victims. They colonized Africa. Somebody told me that, Mayekmo, do you know that some African countries are still paying colonial tax to France? I said, is that real? Yeah. They said that go online and check it. Some African countries, yeah, they are still paying. And if you look at all these French-speaking African countries, these are the areas where you will see long-time criminals who have been leaders, long-time criminals who have committed genocide, killed their people, stayed in power, or either get booted out of power, coup and all of that, because there are ways they can keep them in power. There are ways they can kick them out of power. All of this decided in France. So those of us who are like Anglophones, they call us Francophones, Anglophones. Those African countries colonized by the British, they called us the Anglophones. Those of us in Anglophones, we dealt with our own kind of coup, this and that. But at the end of the day, yeah, the supremacy or the survival of the reign of underdevelopment in Africa, in every country in Africa that has experienced that, is backed by those they call the colonial master or what have you. But those who are the Anglophones kind of have it a little bit better. We are not paying any direct tax. This one is a tax that the country knows they are paying. We're not paying any tax to the UK. We're just tired of the exploitation, people say. But there is no exploitation without the blessing of those who are there. Yeah? The exploitation of Nigeria, right, is granted by those who were supposed to be Nigerians, Abi? That's why some people said nobody is Nigerian. Everybody is just in business of whatever they can get, anything they can get from the system. This turn by turn Nigeria Limited. They are supposed to be those who love Nigeria. But have you seen enough love from those who have been leading us, including those who are leading you right now? Where you have no liberty, no rights of any kind until they say you do, or they tell you the limitation of that your rights. When you are not free in Africa, when you are not treated as you should be treated as citizens of that same Africa, when you are not given that maximum respect of life, protection of lives and property, your life, why do you think the West will have to care? Why? So if you blame them, I'm just reminding you that it won't change anything. Because the criminals who brought Africa to where Africa is today, they are all the same almost. Some will tell you that this one is better. Rwanda used to be a kind of a good example. But in their own way, they define what they think is the best way for them to keep their country out of any tribal war again. But they had to deny people their rights. It's so so many embarrassing and brutal ways. Brutal ways. So everywhere else is just a trial and error. But Nigeria, the total disappointment. So they saw Boko Haram in Dubai, that same Dubai. Some even said that maybe Boko Haram managed to see his wife, Aisha. Sorry, I won't drink.
Baba. Long life to Baba. Say Baba. Say Baba. Say Baba. Ale ba lafia. Ale ba lafia Baba.
Mr. President.
Say Baba.
I wish you Johnny Mercy.
His Excellency.
Long life and good health.
Mr. President, thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming to Dubai.
May Allah support you to deliver.
Thank you for coming to Dubai.
Excellency, you're welcome.
We look forward to a better Nigeria, our president.
Long live Nigeria.
Long live Nigeria, better Nigeria. We look forward to a better Nigeria. No problem. He's not feeling well, for real. He's not well.
This is life and direct.
Is that ever feeling well before?
He never feel well. And then I don't know why she kept telling him that they are looking for a better Nigeria. Better Nigeria. Looking forward to a better Nigeria from who? From Boko Haram. So maybe if they didn't lump us together, right? Because I was as usual, right? I was looking at the map of Africa earlier today. Okay, so and I'm like, I'm going to share that with you. Maybe if they hadn't lumped us all up together, right? Maybe we could be the shining light for Africa enough. Like I said, if you look at this map, you realize that Nigeria is not the biggest country in Africa. Okay, let me see if I can enlarge it. See, you see, this is Nigeria here. Yeah, you see, Chad is bigger than Nigeria. Niger is bigger than Nigeria. Algeria, Libya, Sudan, Democratic Republic of Congo. Angola is almost the size of Nigeria if it's not bigger as well. Now look at those maps. Just look at them by size, right? Look at Ethiopia. It's almost the same size of Nigeria, right? Even Mauritania, where that Mauritanian man comes from. Now, in this small Niger here, that they make you feel, they made you believe that it's so big and what have you. So let's agree that it's so big, and we need to break it down. Now, when Boko Haram says something about the Biafrans, that they are dots, I'll tell you what Boko Haram meant, and then we will try to educate ourselves, okay, especially for those who want to know that Nigeria can break up, and this big for nothing embarrassment of a country, right, can be rescued, and the people therein can also they can at least be identified by their potentials. Okay, so if you go to before they stopped the old Western, Eastern, and Northern Nigerian arrangement, the regional system of government, the Eastern Nigeria. Look at that map from the middle here. Wait. Look at this from, you see Enugu, right? That is the headquarters of Eastern Nigeria, okay? So Enugu. Then if you see it down here, like if you come down, you will see the Gulf of Guinea Atlantic. So when these people decided to break Nigeria into what it is today, they did something deliberately. Look at Enugu in the middle there, right? Coming on. You will then see other Biafran states today. There is other Igbo land, which happens to be part of Biafra. Back then, the old eastern region. Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Asabato, Onitsha, yeah, Imo, which is Owerri. Coming down the line, you will see Bayelsa, Yenagua, right? Coming down, you come to Port Harcourt, to Akwa Ibom, to Cross River, and then the border with Cameroon. Now, the next thing, what do you see? You see the Atlantic Ocean. So when they broke Nigeria into states, right, they decided to now demarcate the line all along this lane to cut out Port Harcourt, cut out everywhere, and in their own workbook, the Fulani workbook that Buhari works with, yeah, that then put the Biafrans in the circle. So as long as the people in Port Harcourt and the people in Uyo, the people in Calabar and all those areas, as long as they can promise Nigeria that the Igbos, who are the Biafrans in between here, as long as they can promise that they will never have access to this sea, they can continue to intimidate the Biafrans. But look at it this way. Look at it this way. As Nigeria, if those who want to take over the land, those who are coming for this water here and every path that leads to it, right? Those who are coming, if they are coming from the up north in that bigger parts, yeah, then they are Nigerians. What they are now doing is called encroaching, which is criminal in Nigeria, right? But if they had waited right there in the northern Nigeria, or if Nigeria was supposed to be what it was from the beginning, which will first prevent them from ever trying to cross down, and then try to force a law on the rest of us that will give them access to all these places. So if Nigeria was what it was then, which will stop them from doing any of that, then you see this part, this southern, that middle, that southern part, down, yeah, down. That's the access. Because if you look at here, you will see Lagos. Now the same water, see, this is Lagos, right? And it is the same water that you see in Lagos that make them divert everyone from the eastern Nigeria down, right, down to the west. So that if you are coming from any part of the world, or if you are bringing anything to Nigeria, you have to go through Lagos. So, and if you look at it very well, it is the same sea. This is Lagos, right? The same sea that will lead you to the Biafra land, the same eastern region, the same sea. There's no other one, see? Now the same water that made Lagos the port of entry, yeah? It is the same sea, you see? The same. But yeah, guess what? Nigeria could still have been a great place that could create its own job and not become a borrowing country. if Nigeria was planned, or if they set up Nigeria to be a country for our people. Because look at it this way. You know, I've shown you Lagos. Now, if Nigeria decide to just say, here in Benin, in Sapele, Warri, or this area, they have the same size of the seaport that Lagos has. That automatically will create millions of jobs in that part. Now, if they continue to go and they come here to Calabar and they come here to Port Harcourt, one here in Bayelsa, you see all this coastal line, if they make them the port cities, they will create millions of jobs for the jobless young people in that part who have to resort to, what do you call it? Insurgency. Insurgency to breaking pipeline, causing further economic hardship for Nigeria or what have you. And Nigeria, because it wasn't put together to work, Nigeria continued to tell you that the Biafrans who are asking everybody here who used to be together as Easterners to come together and see the denied opportunity, things that has kept the people of that part of the country poorer. Now, look at us here in Lagos. The only place we could possibly create another seaport in Yoruba land for our own is going to be Akure. Look at this part. Okitipupa. These are port cities, port communities, whereby jobs could be created. International, what do you call it? International waterways, you can make them international water to create jobs, right? And when people are really working, number one, things that could possibly even put less stress on their roads, they choose not to. Because, you know, if they should, their fear is this: they can control what comes through Lagos. If they want to control power, then they can monitor what is going on across the line, the sea line. As long as they can monitor that and call any activity in this part of Nigeria waterway, any part of that, any activities there is considered a piracy. Do you get that now? So when people say, what do we stand to gain if we break up Nigeria? I tell them, a lot. A lot. Now, when you have this kind of resources, what you need after that is the people. But Nigeria deliberately underdeveloped that part so that everybody can be in Lagos, so that they can know whose good is to be cleared, whose goods is not to be cleared. Nigeria will go abroad to go and borrow and lend money in order to construct rail line from Daura to Maradi in Nigeria Republic. But look at that. It can waste away. Politicians can tell you about it. See, politicians can write to you and say, if I become president, there is all lies, blah, 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 blah. Nigeria is not programmed to be like that. Now, when Nigerians underdevelop Nigeria or kill visions that could make Nigerians live better life in Nigeria, listen to me. What do you think you can say to justify, to disagree with those who said, let us break up Nigeria to unlock the potentials of those who are trapped in today's Nigeria? The idea of, no, let's join them. If you join them, you don't fight these criminals by election. You can't. So, it can be so great if I begin to tell you the advantage, because you can't really disagree with them. Where you have people who can see the potential of their people, but they ignore. You know why? It is not profitable for them. They are not interested in anything long-term plan or what have you. When they borrow money, they invest them in things that will make easy way of looting for them, and they leave their people in the limbo. So if these guys, the gatekeepers of Nigeria, who told us that the Biafrans are dots in a circle, after doing their political homework, demarcating and barricading Nigeria in that way, yeah? If they so rely on the support of all those who are from the coastal part of the Biafra, that they will help them during the blockade to block the Biafran from accessing the sea, let us ask you, is that the only good thing you can do with your sea? Is that what the only good thing that Nigeria sees in you as people from Niger Delta, that you will help them to barricade the Biafrans and block their access to the sea? Is that the only thing that your sea is meant for, to create blockade, to help Nigeria kill other people, your brothers and sisters, while Nigeria leaves your shoreline open, and at the same time trying to make laws to help claim those shoreline, those riverbank, those waterways as their own, while you help them blockade it to help them kill Biafrans? I'm just asking, because that's the question I ask myself, that what could Boko Haram be thinking when he decided to play that tribal card, that the Niger Deltans, they deserve no real development, and if the Biafrans thinks that they will have access to the sea after they have redemarcated and redesigned Nigeria, if the Biafrans think they will have access to the sea, yeah, they are joking. The Niger Deltans have promised them that if the Biafrans come close to their sea, they will kill them for Nigeria. I didn't say the Niger Deltans said that to the coastal Biafrans, because even though Niger Delta is quite so commonly used now, but remember they used to call you the Eastern region, or what historians will call the old Eastern region. There's something that brought you together. It is because of your closeness there, you know, the relativity, the commonance, and every other thing you share together as a people of that axis. Even though you have all your differences too, like many of us. Even us in Yoruba land, we have so many differences, but we call ourselves the Yorubas because we still have so many things that we have in common, more than what we can, get divided over. You know what I mean? So you were called the Eastern Nigerians. You had everything, just like the people of the Western Nigeria. Everything. You have the oil, you have the gas, you have the gold, you have the everything. We have everything too. You have the waterways. You were supposed to be your brothers and keepers, but Nigeria believed that you are not going to do that. Nigeria believed that you will help them blockade the Biafrans in case if the Biafrans insist that they want a Biafra, as Biafrans insist that they want a Biafra, yeah, they believe that you will help them blockade, them from the sea. But look at this. Let me show you something. Yeah, where is that again? 1 sec. If you look at this, Nigeria, the people who are telling us what will happen at our different waterways, they stay up north. You see where I see Kano? That place you see Kano. Yeah. Those are the people. That's where they live. Those are the ones who decide what happened to the people who live 1 sec. What will happen to people who live here? Get what I mean now? So if you, as a Niger Deltan, will help those from this far up, yeah, from this far up, to help them blockade the access to sea of people from here next to you, then that is up to you. Then ask yourself, is that what is that what the Niger Delta and the people of Niger Delta deserve to help Nigeria blockade their fellow brothers? So it's up to you. You don't deserve your own seaports where you don't have to go to Lagos. before you can import that your, where have you? You don't have to go to Lagos, and then, you don't have to bribe people on the road, taking yourself straight to the east, when you can have a better one there, where everybody can have a better life around there, if it's well managed, where you can create millions of good jobs, better lives for the young people, old people, and people around there, rather than everybody going to where they want all of us to go to. I'm just saying it. If that is what what do you call it? If that is what the Niger Deltans are good for, you get what I mean now. So the conversation around, Biafrans being the and the Niger Deltans, which I actually like to call coastal Biafrans, but some people don't like that. They feel like, Mayegun, we are not Biafrans. So I said, okay, fine. Well, to make my own explanation better, I like to say the coastal Biafrans, just like I talk about the other Biafrans, and I've told you why, because the old eastern region is still the old eastern region. And even the man we're standing for, what do you call it? We're standing for Ujuku, who happens to be a Biafran second in command. You remember him? He's not an Igbo man. Honestly, listen to him.
Program. And I myself, I'm not an Igbo man, but I was to be killed also, and I just managed to escape. And a few of the officers escaped, but very many were killed. Those that were killed came from what was then eastern Nigeria. For instance, Major Rock is not an Igbo man, but he was killed. He was killed in Kaduna. Major Kanam was killed in Lagos, and he is not an Igbo man. And several orders like that. I'm trying to say that the officers killed, came not just from one tribe, but from the eastern Nigeria as it then was. Yes. And so there you are. It was lucky for those of us that escaped.
Do you understand? So I like to use things I can refer to. And I didn't make that video. That video is probably about 50 years old. Yeah, that video, more than 50 years old, 1970. Yeah, it was recorded in 1970, I believe. So you heard him. So whatever controversy that people have today about Biafra, I continue to say people should learn how to express themselves in a way that you don't have to make enmity out of your disagreements. Okay? People do researches, people do a lot of things. Even me, that I'm not Biafran, right? I have a lot of things I've researched about Biafra, and many of them, I pick things that are really much helpful to the cause today, where people need to understand that, yes, you can disagree. You may not really, you know what I mean? You may not agree with the way some are doing it and what have you, right? But that shouldn't make you enemies if you pay attention very well to why are we doing what we are doing? Why do we want to do what we are doing, right? So you can disagree with yourselves. You can, you know what I mean? But tearing yourselves apart, attacking yourselves and all of that due to maybe the part you know, because nobody actually knows it all right? You research, and I tell people, we should all do our best to learn from history and never be imprisoned by history. If what you saw in history is when people hate themselves and what they caused, what they killed, this and that, then you are not learning from that history. And because there is more in history than the violence, the betrayal, the disappointment, and every other thing that is ever written. And as people said, yeah, they say for all the animals, if we allow all the animals to write their own story, if they indeed write their own story, their experiences with hunters, right? Many of you will stop glorifying hunters. But guess what? Now the hunters, they write the story about the hunting. Now the hunters, they write about the story about, they write the story about the animals. Oh, lion is this, elephant is that. Now the hunters, if we allow them to write their own story, maybe many of us won't give that crown to those hunters that we have given them to. If the Biafrans who have learned a lot, you learn from history. You learn from history. You don't tear yourself apart. You don't call yourself names, horrible names. You know what I mean now? You desist from that. Try to. Because back in the days, right, those who fought and died for Biafra, those you call the heroes today, those you always want to remember and you never want to forget, those ones who inspired the fight, the fire inside Nnamdi Kanu, that even in the face of death, it still never changed anything. He said, I want Biafra, or if I die, Biafra or death. If you don't give me that, don't think I'm going to stop asking for it. People who actually sacrificed all of that, I don't know how they lived during their time, right? But I don't think many of them will be happy that today, they tear self apart. We are not Biafra. Now be this, now be that. We are not this, we are not that. Again, even Wole Soyinka got arrested. Yeah, Wole Soyinka got arrested for supporting Biafra. Wole Soyinka is not a Biafran. But he traveled down to Biafra. He got arrested and jailed as a prisoner of war. It was after the war they released him, right? Why? Because he felt like it was a just cause. People were fighting for what is just and right. And the only way he could contribute was to help join and tell the story to the whole world. He got arrested for it. You get what I mean? Now, so people who were not even Biafrans, who felt like injustice was being done, they did all they could. But yeah, the world is the world, right? So it's not about it's not about tearing yourself. But I hope it helps in any way. We continue to push that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has done nothing wrong, asking for a referendum or asking for your own country, despite all I have told you right now, it's not a crime. You get what I mean? Now, it's not a crime. The state sponsored the criminality in Eastern Nigeria. The same, media sponsored, narrative and attack to pin every of this crime on the IPOB in Eastern Nigeria. They will never make it go away. That's one thing people have told me. Mayegu, there's nothing they do. There's absolutely nothing they try to do that will make Biafran issue go away. It's never going to go away. Now, I agree with them. So it's not a crime if Nigeria will begin to see through that. I don't see them do that. And they continue to cause more damages and destructions than that can be mended or fixed. So it's pretty much like Nigeria cannot be saved. Nigeria cannot be rescued. So if you love Nigeria, right, you should join others to break it up in order to save lives. It is a very straightforward demand. It is not about burning down Nigeria, killing ourselves, and the rest of that. If you love Nigeria, you will join those who are demanding to break it up to save lives. And there are many ways it can be done, right? Some said, Mayegu, there is no other way other than a revolution. A revolution is not planned. It's spontaneous, as they say. And I agree. Suwe. What is the answer? Revolution is the answer. Suwe. They say watch and pray. And I am going to say watch, pray, and be vigilant. 2023 is coming. By January, Tifnumbu is fully ready to declare their money and their blood money flowing. Organizations and groups have been targeted, and many of them will begin to change their narrative. So pay attention. We received, they told us that, Oshibajo gave Ninas, what's what they call them, 350 million. Ninas responded and said, "Na lie. Now the other people collected money." You see all these things, Watch, pray, and be vigilant. The agents who have been filling in the gap all this while about all of the different agitation, different advocacies and demands and all that of the people from these rigged, corrupt criminals in Nigeria. It is about cash out time, and I just thought I should tell you, free of charge. The people who have been championing many of these causes, you will begin to see them for who they truly are from January, if they will wait till that time. Okay? So until that revolution, that spontaneous revolution kicks in, until when the Buhari dins, the Buhari didn't, the Buhari denotus, the Buhari dijatus, the Buhari shukus, the Ungoziaris, the Unneka Aris, the obedient fools, sophisticated morons, all of these on-boot slaves, and then this Lagos Abubakus, all their cousins, the Oshogbu Alimajiris, cyberbarians, Facebook bandits, social media adsmen, their uncles and aunties abroad, the Mumumadus, the Bele lecturers, the Mumu lecturers, and all the clan of the clowns called the cyberbarians, so that when the revolution, the spontaneous one happens, right, they will see the light, they will see the truth, and all the old mountain hill of lies of liar Mohammed and gang will no longer be able to hold them forth. They will break loose, they will scream, they will tear the entire system down. That moment is when I'm waiting for. But before then, there will be so much drama. And I'm saying to some of you who are really upright, who are genuine, to stand firm, stay upright. The challenge of leadership will soon begin to fall on many, many of you. It will be falling on your shoulders and on your laps. They are not freebies. They come with responsibilities. I am saying it to you now. Be prepared and ready. Don't just walk about like those who are also looking for help, those who put their trust in other people and waiting for their messiahs. Prepare yourselves for what is coming. Prepare yourselves for leadership that can be trusted. Prepare yourselves for the frontline leadership that can be emulated, the ones that can be reciprocated, the ones that everyone will be so proud of. Prepare yourself for it. The reason why I'm saying this is this. They have told me revolution is spontaneous. It has no date. It has no time. It has no schedule. It has no location. It doesn't even have its own bearing. It happens, boom, spontaneously. And if you look at where is Buhari taking you, it is no other place than the Armageddon. And taking you to the Armageddon means when the system crash, when the system collapse, when the rig system is completely shattered, leadership will beckon on many, many of you. It is better you are prepared. I am saying this because I think you should. You know, people will sit together to decide, how do we break up? How shall we do it? What should we push first? What should be the priority? Those of you who are in the know, those of you who want the better or the best for what for what you have despised enough for so long, when that leadership responsibility falls on you, you will not be caught unaware. You will not become worse than the people you condemn. You will not become worse than the people you lived to despise, because they will fizzle out sooner or later. I am saying this directly to you now. Those who will champion and chart the cause of referendum, those who will go out there and mount the podium, those who will speak directly to the crowd, those who will face the cameras, those who are going to champion the cause of what we will call liberation after the revolution, those who will be there for us, that will then say, these are the new faces of the new world that we want for ourselves, the future that we want to feature in, those that will be there. Count yourself one only if you are prepared. It is possible, because people will have to do it. These criminals won't do it. They are living in the bubble until the bubble bursts. If the bubble doesn't burst, they will continue to live in that bubble. How do you get this bubble to burst? It's up to you. It's up to me. It's up to every one of us who feel embarrassed, who feel insulted, who feel undermined, who feel devalued, who feel so belittled by the rest of the world for putting your name in that list that they called red list. A lot of things can be embarrassing. A lot of things can be undermining. A lot of things can be so demeaning. And what have you? But guess what? There's no other one that comes as a national disgrace, a national embarrassment, that they want you to help them blackmail the world, blame the world, and not them. Because you know they are useless. You don't expect anything from them. But we will have to make it different now. If we want to be respected, then we have to make that happen. But hey, I can only talk. One day, the leadership will beckon. I will likely be called upon too. When I am called upon, I want to be prepared. Yes, I want to be prepared. You should be prepared too. Leadership comes with responsibility. When you push it to some level, when this system collapses, when this system crashes, it will recall, you will be called upon. Would you be ready? That's the question. Because people will have to do it. There is no Messiah. There is no Savior. There is no warrior. There is no defender. There is no fighter coming to do it for us. But you see, as it is going, when you have enough number, when this revolution sparks, the system will sink. But if you are not ready, the same criminals who brought us to that level, they will volunteer to save us from it. Because of what? If you are not prepared, I'm saying this to you now. Some of you have that mindset. If I am called upon, I will stand up. I will stand firm. I will defend my land. I will defend my people. I will travel back home. I will organize. I will mobilize. You know what I mean? This is the sign. Well, let me put it this way. These are the signs of what leadership requires, of what leadership entails. Now, if you see yourself doing it, get yourself ready. Practicalize it. Go out there. Talk to people. Nigeria is not working. We don't want war. We don't want the bloodshed. We don't want a bloodbath. Nigeria brought war against the indigenous people of Nigeria. They can't defend themselves. And here we are. We would rather have it better, not with Nigeria, but on our own. When you talk to people and tell them what they stand to gain or lose if they continue to be part of Nigeria, or they leave Nigeria, you begin to win the soul one by one. And when you get to that position where we can then say, yes, it is time. You will know. They say it is spontaneous. I have never participated in any revolution. I'm talking about revolution that indeed change, They said every generation, right? Every generation must choose their own missions. And I must make sure they either fulfill it or betray it. I am saying it to you right now. You see all this insult, all this embarrassment, all this limitation, whatever the Western world calls us, yes, they are right to some extent because they are being justified by the failure of those who were supposed to keep us kind of safer from the hands of those that will possibly bully and then abuse us. Then we won't have to be victims or claiming to be victims or joining the victimhood and say, well, they don't like us. They just, and I'm like, if they don't like us, do the people who actually meant to speak for us actually likes us to treat us this way? Of course they don't. Of course they don't. You have to love your brother. You have to love your sisters. You have to encourage them when they say, let us stand up. You don't have to be the one to facilitate their downfall, their death, or their incarceration in order to satisfy the same criminals that are likely going to even trap you, maybe in a different way, maybe through their policies that will cut up with you, maybe not yourself, a member of your family, maybe even your own children. Things happens when you encourage all these criminals in any way or the other. It comes back to us, even when you don't help them. So I'm not really bothered about the red list or no red list. Because many of those who are going to be affected by the red list or not, they are going to find their way around it because they know one thing, right? UK is going to open the border eventually. Canada is going to open it. All of them are going to open it. They're going to work it out. But they're going to do it again whenever the time comes. And if you ask yourself that, what if coronavirus, now Africa then found coronavirus? By now, they may probably have said, well, they don't trust your test that you don't have coronavirus, even if it says negative. So I agree with you when you disagree with them, the whole world, that they cannot make this an African virus. Please, it's not from Africa. Somebody somewhere, everywhere who traveled up, they brought it to Africa. And Africans who discovered it quickly alerted the world, only for them to be punished for it. But that can be stopped when we all begin to show interest in who we think we are projecting in that your own country. In Nigeria, we know our own issue. If you are from Ghana, if you are from any other African countries, right? As much as you are not really happy that this happened, right? Look inward, and you will realize that they wouldn't have done this to you, to us, if those who were supposed to actually speak for us did speak for us. They never spoke for us. So whatever it will take, you, me, us can make a difference. Only if we want it, right? Because it doesn't seem like everybody will actually want that. Thank you so much for your time tonight. This is where I'm going to draw the curtains, okay? Before you go, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can drop that thumb up there before you go. If you're watching on Facebook as well, thanks for joining me. I'm going to see you all some other time. Stay safe and good night.
Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ayégun ti dé. Ayégun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ayégun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ayégun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Ayégun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ayégun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Ayégun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ayégun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Gómìnà kówó jẹ. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá. Àní ẹ̀sùnra kì í. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin òwò. kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ súnra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ súnra kí.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ha! Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ súnra kí. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọgọ́.